Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on the super full moon in Aries, but then the moon quickly moves into Taurus a couple of hours later, so I'm calling it the super full moon in Aries and Taurus. So yeah, that happens on the 8th of May 2024. So yeah, first I'm going to talk about the astrological, practical, political, and dig right into the spiritual and psychological meanings of the super new moon that's happening when the moon's in the constellation of Aries at 4:22 a.m. Then it moves into the constellation of Taurus at 2:37 p.m. on the same day. So I'm an intuitive karmic holistic astrologer as well, so I just thought, like, in this one we need to include the Taurus energy for some reason. So yeah, we're going with it. So yeah, the moon's in the 24th degrees of Aries when it goes into new moon, which rules the somatic muscle in the human body and has the Sabian symbol, an open window, and the neck curtain blowing into a cornipa. So astrologically speaking, whether the moon's in Aries, the sun's there, Pluto's there, it is always about new beginnings, bold actions, and a push, a splurge of energy. So yeah, it can be kind of like a cosmic kind of like push to use the abundance of new creation, initiating, starting new things energy, and allowing us to step into the unknown, taking that leap of faith with more vitality, more energy and confidence. So practically, as I said, this is great for starting new projects, initiating challenging conversations, having those conversations we've been putting off in our relationships, and just embarking on starting new adventures. Politically and worldly, on the materialistic level, this super new moon in Aries pushes leaders and individuals alike to take decisive actions for progress and innovation, getting out of their stagnant sort of like routine. It's a time to shake things up, break barriers, embrace change with enthusiasm, and to do the things you've been putting off, as I said. So it's just a good energy to get us out of that rut, get us out of that comfort zone of repeating and doing the same things, but also it can bring shifts in power dynamics, and it just, on the global collective scale, or even in governments and stuff, it calls for us and allows for people to make bold decisions, whether it be in business, stock making, education, spiritual development. On the mundane level, can sort of like make us more restless, especially if we don't use this energy, and make people more impatient as well, as people may feel pushed to make spontaneous decisions or break free from routine. And some people may face resistance from that, or just get impatient when things don't go their own way straight away. Socially, it can make us more assertive and want to be more individual, not wanting to conform, wanting to not live up to other people's expectations. Instead, we want to create our own rules, live up to our own expectations. It encourages us to express our true selves authentically and fearlessly, sort of like creating a spirit of independence and empowerment within sort of like communities. So whether it's with your neighbours, within your household and stuff like that as well. So just a great energy to just help us be more direct and say the things that need to be said. And it may not always be met with like happiness and stuff. It can be a bit passive aggressive and challenging, but make sure you assert your boundaries respectfully, respect other people's boundaries, but just take advantage of this empowerment energy. Yeah, so yeah, on the spiritual and esoteric levels, the 24th degree of Aries, where the sun and the moon are at the time of the new moon, because the new moon is when the sun conjuncts the moon, or the moon conjuncts the sun, whatever you want to look at it. And the full moon is when the moon and sun are opposite each other, opposing each other. But anyway, so spiritually, esoterically, this Sabian degree rules the somatic muscle, and I'm going to go more into the Sabian symbology later on. But the zygomatic muscle in the human body symbolises strength and expression. It symbolises us being able to tap into our inner power, speak our truth, and, you know, boldly, courageously showcase, put our talents out there, put our gifts out there. So go for that promotion, start that new course, start that new wellness regime, you know, go after what you really want. The symbology of an open window and a net curtain blowing into a canonipa just shows that there's an abundance of opportunity, where potential is ripe for harvesting, and it just wants us to embrace change and be courageous, find our inner strength on the personal and global levels. It supports us in tapping into our inner assertiveness and to sort of like just allow ourselves to make those decisive decisions and allow ourselves to be more innovative, be our true selves and make progress. So yeah, just a bit of mythology or history for you. A canopy is a symbol of abundance, and sometimes it's represented as a horn, so it's called the horn of plenty, and it just shows us that there's an endless abundance of anything that we want to manifest in our life if we're prepared to work hard, do the research and open up ourselves for the new. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the super new moon in Aries moves into the constellation of Taurus at 2:37 p.m. So about 10 hours after it's an actual conjunction. The new moon phase lasts for about 3 to 4 days, but the energy of it lasts for about 2 weeks. We can tap into that and use that. So Taurus brings grounding energy, stability and focus on material comforts. It allows us to combine the fiery energy of Aries and the grounded nature of Taurus, and this creates a potent blend of determination and practicality, pushes us to channel our inner warrior to pursue our ambitions with confidence and resilience. So if we look at the energy of Taurus and Aries in a combined way, it invites us to set clear intentions, establish solid foundations for our project. So Taurus provides the stabilising force for us to follow through in the things that we think about starting or actually start at the time of the new moon, because we don't always have to start things at the time of the new moon. With action, we can just write down what we want to start and take slow and steady steps. So don't feel like you have to rush, because Aries energy can make us do that. But Taurus brings that kind of chilled out vibe that just allows us to sort of like take use of the unexpected opportunities that may come up, but also handle the sudden changes in our environment and the power dynamics that can come up, because Aries energy can make us push in, people just want their own way. It pushes us to embrace change with grace and adaptability, being flexible, being open to other people's viewpoints as well as asserting our own. As we look into the psychological aspect of the energy of Aries and Taurus, it allows us to confront our fears, insecurities and limitations, allowing us to self-reflect, introspect, to look within, to think about our life patterns, to build more self-awareness, love and acceptance. And it sort of like empowers us and supports us in breaking free from stagnant patterns and embrace our full potential. From a spiritual, esoteric perspective, it supports us on our inner healing, spiritual awakening and alignment with our higher purpose. This super new moon in Aries and Taurus allows us to connect with our inner fire in a grounded way, and finding harmony between our passions and being practical and grounded and taking time and planning and just going for it, taking that leap of faith, but thinking and making a strategic plan, because Taurus is all about planning what we're wanting to do in a fit sort of like earthly way. It allows us to step into our own power and manifest our dreams with courage and determination. Now I'm going to talk about the aspects that the sun and the moon are making at the time of this super new moon. So yeah. So first of all, the moon and the sun conjunct Venus, and it's a 7:22 separating orb. So it's not strong, but it just allows us to, indulge in creating things, whether it be art, a song, a dance, a game, some code, some poetry, whatever, and also take time out to do things that are pleasurable to us and develop, loving relationships with other people. So yeah, the next aspect at the time of this super new moon in Aries is that the moon and the sun make a semi-square, and you know that a semi-square to Mars, and Mars rules Aries, so this adds to the tension and the dynamic motivating energy of the day. It gives us the motivation to overcome challenges, but it can add to us being more impatient and impulsive. So it's best to channel this energy productively into exercise, your work, rather than to squander it or get yourself into passive aggressive or aggressive, direct aggressive, verbal or physical arguments with others. Also, the moon and the sun makes a conjunction to Jupiter. So Jupiter amplifies the expansive energy, what the new moon brings on its own, because it's all about optimism and growth and opportunities and abundance, and Jupiter is all about that as well, as an energy. And the new moon, of course, is all about new beginnings. So this allows us to, be lucky, take risks at this time, dream big, and set ambitious sort of like goals and make careful plans to reach our goals. So yeah, lots of growth energy. The moon and the sun also makes a set star to Saturn. This is 048 or separating, so still pretty strong, but not as strong as that. And the plying energy is separating, so it allows us anyway to be more structured, disciplined, and to think more in terms of long-term planning and gratification rather than short-term planning and gratification, just wanting our pleasure and doing the things that we want now, whether it be, taking too much drugs, socialising, drinking too much alcohol, too many hookups and stuff. So the best use of this energy, and it supports us to, really do the groundwork and to lay the foundations for our future success, and just make those healthy changes that can bring about positivity into our lives. The moon and the sun makes a conjunction to Uranus, so this allows us to bring more sort of like independent thinking, be innovative in our thinking outside of the box, but also adds to the sudden changes and unexpected events that I was talking about earlier. It allows us to be open to alternative, unconventional ideas, break free from conforming and living to other people's expectations and following traditions and the rules. It allows us to be open to new, being independent and taking advantage of opportunities that come our ways, allowing us to be flexible as well, and just giving us that push to start new things, do new things, and just be open to new people and experiences. Finally, the moon and the sun make a semi-set star to the ascendant of the transiting chart at the time of this new moon. So this just allows us to be more self-aware, which is good, and align our actions and words with our true identity and purpose, and to work on understanding our toxic thoughts, and continuing the work to, or starting the work to think more positively. And remember, I don't think we have to think positive all the time. That's not how it works for me. We just have to try and get ourselves, my aim is 51%, and so some days I think positive 90 or 80 or 70%, sometimes it's 20, 30 or 10, so it's just about trying to find that balance between positive and negative thinking, not being so hard on ourselves, and knowing that even in the times of our depression and when we're feeling crap, we can channel it into, whether it's journaling, gaming, weights, exercise, handicrafts, knitting, playing the piano, playing an instrument, just allowing ourselves to let out that pain. That's what's been my saving grace, having something that allows me to work through my anxiety, my depressions, and all my other sort of like issues. So yeah, this energy allows us to find out what it is that we need to start or continue to work as of growing on the individual level, allowing our inner self and our outward selves to align, and just allowing us to make those changes, especially on the ways that we project our show up in the world, you know. So at the time of this super new moon, there's a transit in stellium as well. So a stellium in astrology happens when 3 or more planets come together in the same zodiac sign, degree, orb or house, and this creates a kind of cosmic conversion, merging, meeting, anyway, a potent blend of energies, that's what I'm saying, that just allows us to sort of like have more concentrated energy. So yeah, positively it enhances our focus and drive in specific areas of our life, but negatively it can make us feel overwhelmed, and this can lead to power struggles. And at the time of this new moon, as I said, the moon, the sun and Venus are in Aries, and the moon, sun and Uranus are in the constellation of Aries, and Jupiter's in Taurus. So there's a 3-point stellium, moon, sun and Venus, and a 4-point stellium, moon, the sun and Uranus. So yeah, so now I'm going to talk about how these influence. So it's kind of like a cocktail of passion, desire. It prepares and helps us in having a renewed sense of self-worth and love and understanding and acceptance. It allows us to start things, fresh beginnings. It can also give us a push in creativity and self-expression, pushing us towards, you know, taking those risks and going after those exciting opportunities I've mentioned a few times. So yeah, the second stellium that, you know, brings Jupiter and Taurus into the mix allows us to have sudden breakthroughs. It can create tension due to conflicting energies between stability and change, but overall these stelliums, you know, support us in achieving intense transformation and growth and understanding in our relationships if we're open to it, and within ourselves as well. It allows us to flow with the currents of change, reach our highest potential, and just stay open to new experiences and possibilities and the magic of the universe, and allowing it to guide us on our journeys of self-discovery and understanding. So yeah, now I'm just going to talk about the Sabian degrees that are impacting this super new moon. So as I said earlier, the moon and the sun are in the 24th degrees of Aries, that rules the somatic muscle in the human body, and has the Sabian symbology of an open window and neck curtain blowing into a canopy. And so this just shows us that there's a mix of opportunities and abundance that are waiting to be tapped into, as I've been saying. So it can make us feel more fertile and open to change, open to taking a leap of faith and being receptive to new beginnings. Negatively, there can be a tendency to overindulge in things and just be superficial and not look at things deeply enough, and this can make us miss the opportunities that the new moon energies are trying to bring to us. Mars is in the 12th degree of Pisces, and as I said, Mars rules Aries. So this Sabian symbol of the 12th degree of Pisces is associated with the artery of the right foot, and the Sabian symbology is on a misty evening a man approaches the door of an occult lodge. He gives the doorman the password and slips inside. So this just shows us that hidden knowledge and initiation. You may start a group, start a new course, or research a new topic, a new aspect of astrology, spirituality, tarot, crystals, whatever, coding and gaming, I don't know, all the different things you can research out there. And you can come into sort of like enter into the mystery of a new world, and it just adds a sense of wonder and intrigue, and it can just inspire us to take actions that's guided by inner wisdom or self-reflection, or even by advice from someone else. But always be careful when following others' advice. Just make sure it does resonate with you, rather than you trying to live up to other people's expectations or escaping into illusion as well, because Pisces energy can always make us run into our intoxicating in self-destructive habits, whether it's excessive smoking, nicotine, weed, drug taking, DMT taking, whatever, because, you know, anything, even too much healthy food can be bad in a way, you know, because it can keep us out of balance. And you're like, how can healthy food be bad? But, you know, if we need to have a certain thing to keep our sort of like health in check, and we don't eat it because we're on some extreme diet, I don't know, if we need, I don't know, let's pick a vitamin, iron. And of course, we may not, you know, most iron can come from meat and vegetables and stuff. But if we give up, you know, certain vegetables and meat and stuff, and we don't take the supplements, too much healthy eating can be bad then. So that's an example I'm giving. So I'm moving on now. So yeah, so although this degree of the 12th degree of Pisces places an emphasis on intuition and, you know, exploring ourselves in that spiritual higher consciousness level, negatively also shows that, you know, secretive or deceptive manipulative behavior can come out of this new moon and can cause confusion and misunderstandings in our relationships and decision making processes. So it just wants us to just be careful with what we choose to believe in and do our research and take slow and steady steps towards achieving what we need to. It shows that we just need to go in and reflect, and in that we can get the answers to our question rather than, you know, seeking too much external opinion. And combining the two sabin degrees of the 12 degrees of Pisces and the 24th degrees of Aries. So as I said, rather than seeking too much external sort of like opinion, this energy allows us to, you know, go within ourselves. Also, when we combine the 12 degrees of Pisces and Aries together, they want us to blend being practical with being intuitive and explore the deeper layers of our consciousness, allowing ourselves for, you know, rebirth, starting again, for spiritual awakening or reawakening, adding a touch of mystery that allows us to dig deep into our intentions and desires, and just to be more aware and cautious as we navigate through life's uncertainties and the things that come up right now, and be open to exploring the unknown and change our perceptions and question our values, especially questioning what we believe is truth, you know. It supports us in giving us the energy to tap into our inner strength, encouraging us to start new things and dig deeper into our lives, into our intellectual, spiritual, career paths, and just be more curious and open about life, even if we've been hurt before, if we've been through heartbreak, you know, life gets us sore, we can just get really, really, not hating life, but yeah, hating life, maybe hating ourselves, hating people maybe, and cutting ourselves off from the fullness of ourselves and lives. And, you know, as all people, I believe, well, for me, as all people don't believe it, I believe we all are a bit a-holes. We can all, you know, and I'm just looking for the right a-holes for me, and I think everyone should just find the right people for them, and rather than trying to put a, you know, a square shape into a circle, you know, it doesn't quite fit, or circle into square, just, you know, not forcing things but aligning with things. So this opens up a cosmic doorway for us to, you know, shed light on our shadows, our hidden wisdom, and to embrace our weaknesses and strengths and just be open to newness. So now I'm just going to talk about, you know, how family, friendship, co-worker, committed and hookup relationships are effective and positively and negatively at the time of this new moon. So in our family dynamics, it allows us to take bold steps and to work together towards self-expression and growth, but on the negative end, it can make us impulsive and cause conflicts and arguments, because, you know, heated tempers and people being aggressive and passive aggressive and stuff. So it's essential for us in families to communicate openly and honestly during this time. In terms of friendships, it can make us more passionate and more motivated. We can be more and feel more inspired to support each other's goals, and we can just create a sense of togetherness and said purpose and just deepen a connection. But negatively, it can sort of like lead to impulsive decisions or misunderstandings if not handled with care. In terms of co-worker relationships, it can help us work with other people and create sort of like reach new heights in our teamwork, and we can become more creative in partnerships, innovative in the workplace. It can inspire us to think outside of the box and take risks and being innovative on projects and listen to each other's ideas. But it's also crucial for co-workers to be aware and mindful of each other's boundaries and communication styles to avoid conflicts or power struggles that can come due to the assertive nature of this new moon in Aries. So yeah, in all relationships it's best to be open, especially in professional relationships. In terms of committed and hookup relationships, it can sort of like bring a push of passion, intensity and energy. In hookup situations, the fiery energy can lead to spontaneous connections and adventurous adventurous encounters, and just open up our world a little bit. So it's just good to just be a bit flirty and stuff, with consent of course, but it's essential to prioritise clear communication and mutual respect to avoid misunderstandings or hurt feelings. In committed and intimate relationships, it can kind of like ignite a spark of renewed excitement and a desire between partners. It's a time for everyone involved in the connection to be more confident. It allows us to develop deeper connections based on being honest with each other and authentic. And even though it can get fiery with Aries energy, just try and take time out, give each other space, actively listen, ask questions rather than assume, and just take care with considering each other's boundaries and feelings, allowing for open communication and transparency, just saying it how it is. Aries energy can be direct at times, so people may say things that can shock you because you may be, where did that come from, sort of thing. But just try and be open-minded and respect each other's boundaries. Don't let anyone cross your boundaries or anything like that, but just try and have some understanding, some respect, give each other time and space. And by doing that, all those things can be rocky. This can strengthen your bond and deepen your intimacy. So now I'm going to talk about the karma, the karmic lessons and past life implications of the super new moon in Aries that moves into Taurus like 10 hours later. So yeah, so as I said, Aries is a fiery and dynamic energy, encouraging us to take bold steps, be individual, try new things, assert our desires, our wants and needs with confidence. On the other hand, the stabilising presence of Taurus pushes us to ground ourselves, nurture our ambitions patiently, taking the time, making a plan, doing the research and focus on building solid, well thought out foundations and plans for the future. So the karma wants us to confront our fears, step out of our comfort zones. This is the challenge here. Aries and Taurus sort of like teaming up on these days like a cosmic tag team, blending fiery passion with steadfast determination to create a celestial dance of epic proportions. So it allows us and pushes us to confront our deepest fears, venture beyond our comfort zones, break free from stagnation and embrace change with open arms, being letting go of limitations, just being open to newness. As I said, the karmic lessons revolve around what stops us from being an individual, how can we become more confident in asserting our needs and boundaries and respecting other people's needs to do so, how we can grow our ambitions over time with patience, hard work and perseverance, how we can build more resilience, and it sort of like challenges us to reevaluate our relationship with fear and push ourselves to take courageous steps towards our goals. So yeah, past lives where we may have been trailblazers, pioneers, CEOs, you know, sort of that's the word that everyone knows now, sort of boss babes. That's it, boss babes. You know, where we've been like, you know, went after where we wanted, or where we've sort of like patiently worked over time in past lives to build up our, you know, our resources over time. So it just reminds us that sometimes it takes a while to build emotional, financial, psychological, spiritual, physical security into our life. But if we're prepared to, you know, take the time, build up our skills and seek out anything else that we need to help us get there, and we can get there. It may also trigger memories or patterns from our past lives where we embrace change fearlessly, or we work diligently and focus towards our long-term goals. So just, even if it's in this life, in the past you may have been more focused and you lost the focus. I've been guilty of it. So it's about just allowing ourselves to tap back into that. So, you know, that childlike teenage wonder. I'm not saying all our childhood and teenage dreams can come true, but just getting that zest for life back, tapping into wisdom and, you know, experiences that we may have gathered, accumulated, built up over lifetimes, and, you know, apply them to our current journey of growth and self-discoveries. And yeah, you know, some of us may have vivid visions, but a lot of this may just happen on the subconscious level. We may not be aware that, oh, you know, in a past life I was a successful business person, but you may meet one, or you may research one, or you may just have that urge to take that leadership role in the subconscious level, not consciously being aware of where that thoughts come from. So yeah, now I'm just going to talk about how career, spiritual, personal and educational development are effective a bit more. So again, in terms of career development, it allows us to build long-term success and to make decisive actions. Spiritually, it allows us to explore our deepest beliefs and find peace and stability in our spiritual practices. On the personal growth level, it can help us feel more empowered and pushes us out of our comfort zones, allowing us to go after what we really want and build a stronger sense of self and self-worth, and just to nurture ourselves and understand ourselves, and as I keep on saying, love on ourselves. You know, in terms of educational development, it can bring knowledge and growth and spark curiosity about new subjects and ideas, pushing us to seek fresh learning opportunities, and, you know, taking a more practical approach in applying the knowledge and things that come up into our life in a meaningful way. So now I'm just going to finish by talking about the best things for creative professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers and lovers to do when there's a super new moon. So for creatives, it allows you to dive into your artistic plans and expression with renewed passion and optimism, being more bold and innovative in the way you may dance, sing, paint, draw, design, whatever it is that you do. And Taurus energy allows you to be more stable and determined in seeing through your creative plans and projects. For professionals, it can help us launch new ventures, make strategic career moves, and just be more ambitious in our goals. It allows us to be more assertive and just be more grounded in going after our sort of professional and entrepreneurial success. In terms of lovers, it can help us have more passion, good for date nights, deepening our connections, and just infusing, providing a chance to put a sense of adventure and sensuality into our relationships. So it's a great time for romantic gestures, as I said, heartfelt conversations and trying new experiences together, because Aries, fiery passion combined with Taurus, sensual nature, can create a harmonious blend of excitement and stability in our relationships. So yeah, that's the end of this analysis of the super new moon in Aries and Taurus on the 8th of May 2024.